McGuane gets past Brown. They're lifting the pies. They can sense it. McGuane's had 5 bounces. Nearly get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Mickey McGuane. Goal of the year.
Mick McGuane joins us on Straight Up for this AFL preview thanks to Dankz Furniture.
You won't see better than that.
With 6 local stores in the metro area, there's one near you.
Yes, 8 minutes past 3 o'clock. Straight Up begins with Mick McGuane, as he does every Thursday for Dankz Furniture. A very good afternoon to you, Mick.
G'day, Marty.
How are you?
Yeah, really well. A bit cold and nice and wet at the moment here in Victoria. Very intriguing game tonight, of course. You've got a depleted Essendon taking on the Giants, who are starting to crank into a gear.
Yeah, they were very good last week, weren't they, against Geelong and Essendon? Well, you just roll out some more kids. I'm so rapt to see Liam McMahon get his go at it. Heard his father interview today on radio. Geez, it was a good interview about you really get a perspective of being on a journey with a kid who's been sort of ignored and had to do it the hard way to get his final lick at it, but he's in there tonight.
Yeah, it's all about resilience, isn't it? When you think things are going okay. And I remember talking to people at Collingwood when he was on their list. They thought he had immense talent, just had to grow into a body, thicken up, compete stronger than what he was at that stage. Things didn't go his way. He goes through the VFL program, gets a chance through a mid-season draft, and now he becomes the 13th debutant for the Essendon Footy Club to play in tonight's game. It's a great story.
Yeah, it is a great story. And even then, Mick, with Essendon, he's had to wait longest of all of the kids to get in there after he showed terrific form in the VFL. So good luck to him. I hope he plays well tonight. How far do they win by here, GWS?
Yeah, well, the line's enticing around that 44 mark. I know they lose a couple of experienced players and good ones at that in Kelly and Hogan. Thomas is out, omitted. They bring 3 players in. Experienced Canelio probably leads the pack there. And then you look at the Bombers, you say, well, where's their energy going to come from? Perkins doesn't defend. Gresham picks and chooses. McMahon, he'll play out of his skin on his debut, give it everything he's got. I love the way Visentini played in his only game to this point this year. Hopefully he brings some hardness around the clearances and stoppages. Dylan Shield, will we see him survive AFL footy beyond this year at the Essendon Footy Club? This might be a template game for him. And Matt Guelphy, we know, will probably get a defensive forward role against one of those rebounders, whether it be Whitfield or whether it be Yash, who are in fantastic form at the moment. They lose their tagger in Setterfield, who probably would have went with Callahan or tried to keep up with Callahan. Caddy's a big out, so is Martin. And obviously Goldstein's managed, and Sardis, who just can't get a run at the AFL footy, and Hobbs is out. There's a lot of question marks, a lot about their list at the moment, the Bombers. I know they've had a lot of injuries. They've exposed a lot of players to AFL this year, which is good for the long term. But there's some players on that Essendon list right now, when they've been exposed to AFL footy, they haven't been able to cut the mustard. So is there too many list cloggers on the Essendon list at the moment? Time will tell.
Went through it yesterday, said on air, we'd be very brief because we need to move on. But I think there's 16 on that list you could have a look at, 16, without a doubt. Yeah. Friday night at the Gabba, this is a big game. Brisbane Western Bulldogs, 152 Brisbane, though, 153. So a bit of money for them. Western Bulldogs are 255. We remember when they played each other at Norwood earlier on this year. It was the Dogs by, I think they led by 39 at one stage, Mick, 74-35. And then Hippie Hipwood got going.
Yeah, he certainly did, and that's what he's capable of doing. He can ignite a fire in 10 minutes burst, but he doesn't do it consistently enough for my liking. They'll miss Bailey. Zach Bailey's been in terrific form through that suspension, and Ainsworth's out for the season. Unfortunate for him, he's a ripping young man and a good competitor. Does Kitty Coleman come back in? He's a chance to return to AFL footy. Sam Day available this week. Does he come in at the expense of maybe managing Fort or McInerney, even though McInerney had some injury concerns over about a 7-week period, played last week? Or does Fort get a bit of a reprieve and get managed this week? Gardner probably comes into the 22. I think the Brisbane Lions will win. I wouldn't back them at the short odds. The Bulldogs would be smarting on the back of last week's defeat. They'll get some changes into their team, but I think Luke Beveridge must look at what he needs to do against the big-bodied forwards. Leaving out Liam Jones, I thought, was a mistake last week. Busling is in the conversation, so is Buku Karmas. And Luke Cleary's another hybrid defender they might entertain if they want to stick with that hybrid model. Clearly got him last week. The 3 big forwards, they got hold of him. Phil Thorpe with 6. The other two boys in Walker and Fogarty hit the scoreboard, and so did Dan Curtin sliding forward. So they might look at that hybrid model that they're working with at the moment and say against the big boppers, we might have to change our personnel in that area of ground because Rory Lobb can't do it all. So I think they'll fight and roll their sleeves up and get to work. Around midfield, you'd like to see the Western Bulldogs try to dismantle the Brisbane Lions midfield group. That's a challenge in itself, but it might be an interesting conversation when you see Dunkley roll his sleeves up against Bontempelli or even go to Livatore. That'll be a match-up, little subplot within the game. I can't wait to watch.
Bit of talk during the week, I think, from Champion Data, how Brisbane have changed the way they're playing mid-season, and I think they went from the 15th or 16th most attacking side to 4th in the space of 2 or 3 or 4 matches, and they've held that line that they've really gone sort of for all-out attack more than they had at the start of the season.
Yeah, and they've got to adjust, obviously. If they go out all attack, they've still got to be able to set up the ground against the better teams, because if the good turnover teams do turn that ball over through their immense pressure, I think that's where Brisbane Lions still are vulnerable with fast ball movement coming back at their back six.
Yep.
They certainly give you a look, and that's where this game could be won or lost. Who transitions the best? Who forces the turnover? And can you capitalise on those turnovers you create by punishing them on the scoreboard? We know both teams are capable of it when they get it right, and that could be the difference between these two teams Friday night.
First of the games on Saturday, early start 11:20. Hawthorn are $1.16 in from $1.26. That's with the news of the injuries that have riddled Porter and Willie Rioli's non-appearance as well, or non-selection. Port $5.25, 29.5. Last 3 games they've played, Hawthorn have been beaten, but surely this is their chance to redeem themselves?
Absolutely. They have to win, and they have to win well, considering who's not available for Port. Horn Francis, massive out. Obviously, no one likes seeing a good player go down, possibly season's over. It'd be really interesting to see whether Rosie gets through the test that he has to have. A couple of young players might be entertained in Berry and Moraes. So it'll be interesting to see what they do at the selection table. And same with Hawthorn. Does Mitch Lewis play on the back of his 5 goals at VFL for Box Hill last week? Even Max Ramsden, he could get a recall. He kicked 4 and took 8 marks. So there's some decisions to make at the selection table. But Hawthorn historically play really strong footy down there at Tassie. It's a little fortress for them. Yep. And I think they'll win and win pretty easily. I
think they released it that Mitch Lewis is playing, so he's in. Yeah, he's in. It's on the AFL website, just popped up. So
that's good.
They'll have to decide who drops out of that side, or do they go in with the 4 forwards? Who knows? Sydney play North Melbourne. Now, this is at the SCG, start time 2:15, and I just want to update this market here. Yeah, just a little bit of money, Sydney. They're into $1.09, and North get out to $7.50. The line there, 40.5.
Yeah, I think Sydney, they should be too good for North, even though some personnel should come back for North to help their cause. Wardlaw, LDU, that's Luke Davies-Uniacke, should come in and strengthen up their midfield. Big watch on Larkey. Does he play? I'd love to see McCartan get over the line. Will he play or not, depending on the concussion protocols that he has to get through? I'd love to see that match-up, Tom McCartan and Larkey. That'll be a really engaging one-on-one match-up we can sit back and observe within the game. Rampy should come back in from his calf. Not sure what they'll do with Coleman Jones. Does he replace Zeri at the selection table? Zeri was suspended, of course, from last week. Coleman Jones has been hovering around VFL footy for a period when he was a marquee recruit out of Richmond a few years back, but he certainly hasn't been able to cut the mustard at AFL level in those colours. And maybe this is his chance for a bit of redemption. Play the next 3 weeks and see if he can cement a list spot going forward.
Had a really close look at the Sydney St Kilda game last Sunday. Unfortunately, I was on the Saints, but gee, Sydney's class in that last quarter really rose to the top, Mick. They were fantastic. You could have either side could have won that game, but just the way their best players took control when they had to was very impressive.
And that's understanding game trends and doing what's required when. Grundy to Goulden, that's what I'm talking about, just the cohesion and the synergy and working for each other. Get 1 metre of space, that's all good players generally need at AFL level, and they can snap a goal that matters. But as we've said, most of the year without Goulden out there, left to too few, Warner and Heaney carrying a can. Mills is coming back in, no Papley, McDonald hasn't played a game. And I really believe those three tools in Marty, McDonald and McLean need each other because they all play important roles in that system that they play. I reckon McDonald's the aerobic beast that gets up to the logos and he's the conduit between defence and attack, and those in behind him, they benefit from that young man doing all the legwork. And I think they're a much better team when those three boys are in it, and then Papley nipping at their heels with Hayward, and they can kick winning scores on the back of that personnel being in the front half, and that's when Gould and Heaney, a bit of Mills, and also Warner can really get to work up the ground, and there's no better quartet of midfielders when they're up and going. They can do damage against any team they play.
Good to see the young, big West Aussie Buller boy getting amongst it. He's shown a bit the last couple of games. Jack Buller.
Who's that?
Jack Buller.
Oh, yeah, he does. He goes okay, yeah. He's impressive 2 weeks ago, and he certainly loves the contest. He's strong in it, and he'll certainly get better the more exposed he gets to the tempo of AFL footy. But he looks a ready-made player based on what I've seen in the short period of time we've watched him.
Yeah, and he kicks straight. That's what I like about him. He's had a couple of, real clutch shots at goals that he's nailed, and they weren't easy shots. They were 40 out, 45 out, bit of an angle, and he's just gone back and put them straight through. So Carlton play Melbourne. This is a 5:35 game Saturday night. Money's been here for Melbourne, no surprise, 160 to 150. Blues out to $2.60 in the line there, 11.5. I thought Melbourne were the best of the week last week. They got the job done, and they should continue it on here against Carlton.
Yeah, I think they'll get the job done. May will come back in from that illness. Unfortunately, Lever out, Sparrow out with that concussion. They got some personnel to also entertain in Petty. Howes was very good. He's a good chance to come back into their team, and they'll look at, if they want runners, they've got sort of Sharp and Billings, a bit of Spargo to come into the team. So they're a lot more healthier than what Carlton are at the moment. Carlton probably continue to expose themselves to either tried and true players, knowing full well they'll lose McGovern and Fantasia. Does that mean Akers comes straight back in? Harry Lemmy, does he get a chance? Surely they don't go to Francis Evans to go. Again, Willie White might be a better chance rather than Evans. And then you've got Sard, who's in that footy wilderness at the moment. With his concussion, will he be ready to take the ground on the weekend? And then Billy Wilson, the one you mentioned, Marty, last week, does he get selected this week, knowing he was good at VFL level last time they played, and he's only played that one AFL game when he got out of the team pretty quickly. So I think they have to find out about their list going forward, because there's going to be a list cull at the end of the year, irrespective whether Michael Voss is there or not. I reckon a new coach, if it is a new coach next year, they'll certainly make some hard decisions about personnel on that list.
Well, how about this match? There's something in it for the West Coasters over here. The long-suffering supporters need to get to their ground, follow their team in a game that, it means a bit. They're playing Richmond. Chance to win a game. They're $1.67 West Coast, in from $1.72. Richmond hit $2.20. The line's there 5.5. But last time they played, there was a kick in it, wasn't there? There was a couple of points in this match.
Yeah, well, I think the Eagles should be winning this game. I just love the way they're evolving under McQualter and the game style he's trying to put in place. It's suiting the personnel he's got at his disposal by trying to go forward with the ball at speed, really put speed on the game as much as they can to give their sort of manufactured forward line a bit of a look, because there's no Waterman, and we know that. There's no Oscar Allen. They're their two best forwards when healthy. And you'd think Kelly will come in to support the midfield group, because those young boys in Reid and Elijah Ewart are shouldering so much responsibility. And then obviously Liam Ryan, who didn't play against Port Adelaide, does he come back in this week? Let's hope he does. Tommy Gross, he flew over to Adelaide but didn't play. He's had pretty good waffle form as well. So I'm anticipating some changes at the selection table for the Eagles. But in saying that, I think the personnel they can bring in certainly can master the Tigers. No Bolter, big out as far as I'm concerned because of the curfew situation. Harry Armstrong might come into the team. He's available over that hamstring injury. So they might make a couple of changes themselves. But I think West Coast, the way they're playing and at home, they should be able to get the job done.
So that is our Saturday games wrapped up. 3 really good games, I thought, on Sunday. First one kicks it off down there in GMB HBA Stadium, 11.10. I slaughtered it again. $1.14 Geelong. That's from $1.14, so they haven't moved. 5.75 St Kilda. They go to 5.80. Line here 33.5. I just think that line's too big. St Kilda can get inside of it. What do you think?
Yeah, they've got a great chance to strangle them. They love that sort of contest, and their speed generally against Geelong's always caused them concerns. I know Geelong's sort of been a bit hit and miss at recent times. The games you expect them to win, they don't. And this is a game we expect them to win. That's why they're short odds, and they should be able to get it done. But that line, from a betting perspective, is clearly enticing. Can Geelong get hold of the Saints if they really try to strangle them with their defensive structure and their pressure at the ball? There's a possibility that Geelong might struggle with that. But if they get their game going, they're more than capable of kicking 6 or 8 goals in a quarter, as we know, down there at GMHBA. So we'll have to wait and see. But from a betting perspective, there's no way known I could back Geelong head-to-head at the short odds. If you're enticing yourself to have a bet, maybe the value and St Kilda at the line might be a reasonable bet to take in this game, because I think it could be tight, particularly if it does rain down there.
They needed De Conning or someone back. That back line to me was exposed for height, I thought, last week against GWS. They're one tall short for mine.
Yeah, well, he's a chance to play, I'm hearing. That's what I got told on Tuesday. So he's a chance to come in, and you'd think he would, stiffen up that back end of the ground. Clossey's also been very strong at VFL. He had 31 disposals. He's been in there with the AFL team, 12 clearances, and Jai Clark's the other one. Bit of a forgotten young man due to injuries this year, but he had 30 disposals at VFL level, and he could be a player that comes in. But then Ross Lyon's got some decisions. Noam Butt was out with that elbow. Paddy Dow, who was at Carlton,
Yep.
been there at St Kilda, had 33, 14 clearances at Sandy last week, was good. And Wilson, who's a player that I think really covers the ground strongly, and he could be the type of player that Ross might go to bring into the team to add that speed, especially at GMHBA. If you can break the lines there and get it out the back, that's when you can score against Geelong's aggressive, come forward to defend back six.
Mick, I wanted to talk to you about this for a bit. Now, I've got pretty good St Kilda mail, and it is that TDK's is a lock. So
Right.
if he goes there, does that mean Marshall leaves the club? And if so, could he end up at Carlton?
Well, he could end up at Carlton, but if I was West Coast Eagles, I'd be certainly entertaining them, knowing he can fill that ruck void that an undersized ruckman's been shouldering that responsibility for a long period of time. And I'm also hearing that Brisbane might entertain him if that's the case as well.
Yep.
Knowing full well that McInerney's got his challenges, and Darcy Fort, we know he's probably a secondary ruckman, not a primary ruckman. And then if Marshall thinks his nose is out of joint, and what role am I going to play if you're going to give the licence to Tom DeCarning to be the primary ruckman, he might walk out the door and try to get another contract elsewhere, which he'd certainly be entertained, I would have thought, based on his standing in the game. So, yeah, it's a lot to play out with his DeCarning movement. And Rowan Marshall, he could be the beneficiary of a long-term contract elsewhere if DeCarning does make the move.
Because it took a little bit of a turn with Max Heath's performance there on Sunday, didn't it? He was fantastic, for a couple of gamer. So all of a sudden they've got a guy there that can either sit underneath TDK or can sit alongside of Rowan Marshall. But anyhow, we'll see how it plays out. As you said, there'll be a lot of implications and reverberations around the move if and when it does happen. These next 2 games are the 2 games of the round for mine. Sunday, 120. Shame they've got to overlap. Collingwood are $1.30. Fremantle are $3.50. This market hasn't moved all week. The line 20.5.
Yeah, big gap between the two combatants. Collingwood are short enough. They'd be smarting on the back of their loss when they got in front through a Jamie Elliott goal, only to see Noah Anderson impact the next 2 centre bounces, and they happened to get the job done. Collingwood clearly had their chances. We know that. Set shot goal kicking so important in games. Ned Long, inexcusable miss. Daniel McStay, the same. Will Oscar Elliott and Oleg Markov, they missed 2 opportunities from a set shot situation. And then even Nick Dacos, I thought he'd be more smarter than taking an advantage when he should have just put the brakes on and give it to a player who could have actually had a set shot rather than himself having a rush kick and not scoring, basically. So they would have learned from those lessons. Poor start. Didn't register a goal till midway through the 3rd term. That's not Collingwood. They would have had strong review this week. Mychek, Lipinski probably both return. McCreary will play. Frampton won't. Bobby Hill won't. So they've got some good inclusions to come back into that team. And I'm not sure whether you know what's happening with Hayden Young. Does he play? He hasn't played since round 8. That was his last game. But I reckon he's an important player to Fremantle's midfield mix. And even Walker could be a chance to come in to look after a couple of those Collingwood small forwards that can hit the scoreboard. So I reckon they lack a little bit of speed down back and can't be relying on Jordan Clark alone to get that job done. Yeah,
the mail is that he will play and possibly Dudley to go out. That's what I've been told. The only thing about Collingwood I'm a bit worried about now with Houston out and Howe out, they're a little bit short down back, aren't they?
Yeah, a little bit, and this is where the system would take over, pressure at the source, up the ground.
Yep.
Moore has to be more responsible for a Tracy type. Do they bring Charlie Dean in who can play in that sort of hybrid defence role or a lockdown role, which will allow the others to get to work. A lot of people are saying, well, let's put Josh Dankz in the centre bounce on the back of his last quarter performance last week. With Houston out, I think they'll start him back and rely on the other midfielders to get to work. And if there happens to be a situation like last week, they're chasing their tail, they know they can revert to Josh and Nick to go inside with Pendlebury's style and experience. And that's when the game changed, when Pendlebury was subbed into the game on the back of that Howe injury. Their system held up pretty good without Howe last week. I know Houston was good and Josh Dankz was good late, but they certainly curtailed the scoring influence after half-time against Gold Coast by managing the team centre forward.
Final game's a ripper. If it's anything like the first clash earlier on this year, we'll be watching every kick of this match. Adelaide have been back 141 into 138. Gold Coast 290 out to 305. I think they're in trouble if Collins doesn't play. Have you heard, is he in or out?
No, I'm assuming he will play, and that's the big point. If you're having a bet in this game, wait till the selection of both teams and the clarity around definite players who are playing, because Collins is so important in this contest. If he's out of the team, I think it clearly tips the betting in the favour of the Adelaide Crows. They're one undersized defender down. We know that Fogarty and Thilthorpe and Walker can get the job done. I love the way Dan Curtin plays his footy. He's another one that can stretch the Gold Coast defence and hit the scoreboard. Down back, they've got their issues. Jordan Butts, he's got that punctured lung and that chest concern. He won't play. But then you think, oh, it's all doom and gloom. But Nick Murray's sitting there in the wings. He's played 4 sample games. And I know for a fact the list manager and people I talk to at Adelaide Crows, they certainly rate him highly. And he's probably in their best 6 when he's fit and well. So it could be a like-for-like replacement. They can still get the job done. I think Adelaide will win, even though the betting margin is probably too great. They'll miss Tuke Miller through the middle of the ground. And does that mean Damien Hardwick leans on a young boy like Leo Lombard to come in because he had 35 disposals at VFL last week? He's pretty electric and he kicked a goal. So they might use a young boy to invigorate the team with some boldness and some vitality and enthusiasm, which is always good on the road.
The side issue to this is Thilthorpe v Andrew. I think the crowd will be right into this one from the get-go. If I know that Adelaide crowd, the way that game finished the last time up on the Gold Coast. Now, Mick, before we get your multi, I think it was on Tuesday. It might have been on the Sports Daily. I thought I'd, a bit of clickbait, stir the place up a bit. It's all a bit, everyone's agreeing with everyone. So I said to him, I'd rather have Dan Curtin than Harley Reid. So they put it out onto a poll, and I was surprised. It's 58-42 in favour of Harley. I thought it'd be more. Right at this point, you still with Harley?
Yeah, it's a good conversation to have. I love both of them.
Yeah.
The part I like about Curtin is his temperament. And I reckon at the moment, Harley, if he can sort of curtail his false bravado and just concentrate on actually winning the footy and assaulting the ball rather than getting caught up in verbal psychology of the game or push and shove where he wastes so much energy, I think we'll see a really good player in time. If push comes to shove right now, for this year, I'd be in Dan Curtin's favour right now.
Thank you very much.
Because of the way he plays, he can push forward. I just like him a lot.
Yep.
I just love how he plays forward. I know Harley's been asked to play probably in an area of the ground a bit prematurely, but it's the discipline and the temperament and the clarity of mind. When you're not emotionally stirred in the game, you make better decisions. And I think Curtin is one of those players that's going to get better and better and better. Yep. And he's one bloke coming from the West I'd love to have. Yeah,
he's a slow burn, isn't he? Like, even the improvement from last year to this year has been enormous. So let's get your multi, Mickey.
Yeah, well, in round 19, it's a pretty difficult one, but I think GWS, you can actually pick your own line in some of the corporates you may be looking at. But, minus 29.5 around the $1.40 mark. I reckon they'll win by 5 or more goals. You can even take the $1.90 at 44.5 points in. I think they'll cover that line. Western Bulldogs, I reckon the margin's too great there, so I'm happy to pick your own line in that, maybe with about a 26-point start around the $1.40 mark. Jack Gunston, 2+ goals around the $1.50 mark. He just loves Tassie, and I don't know whether they've got a match up for him, considering the ball movement will be coming down pretty slick and quick with the midfield group that Hawthorn have got. Sydney, Errol Goulden, he'll get 20-plus disposals. Put him in for just some GST to inflate the odds. He's around $1.14. And I reckon Melbourne's Jake Melksham, he's just unheralded at the moment. He's hitting the scoreboard. Take him to 2-plus goals at $1.57. That'll give you around $5.20. And I reckon that multi might get us a quid for the races on the weekend.
That is a ripping multi. I love it. We'll be putting that out on socials as well. Just repeat, if you just join us, pick your line, GWS minus 29.5 against Essendon. Western Bulldogs, extend your line to 26.5 start. Gunston to kick 2 goals against Port. Goulden to get 20-plus against North Melbourne. And Jakey Melksham, isn't he in great form to kick 2 goals plus against North Melbourne? That comes to $5.20. Mick, you're a star. We love having you on straight up to open the batting for Dankz Furniture. We'll do it again next week.
Good on you, Marty. Just for your listeners, I reckon race 8, number 1, will win at Kilmore tonight. Of even money, but it'll be short but sweet.
Race 8, number 1. I'll look it up and I'll put that out as well. Thanks, Mick. All the best.
Good on you. Take care, Marty.
McGuane gets past Brown. They're lifting the pies. They can sense it. McGuane's had 5 bounces. Nearly get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Mickey McGuane. Goal of the year.
Mick McGuane joins us on Straight Up for this AFL preview thanks to Dankz Furniture.
You won't see better than that.
With 6 local stores in the metro area, there's one near you.
There's never been a better time than now to stop what you're doing and tune in to Straight Up, TAB Radio's weekly podcast that will guide you through the difficult journey that is the punt. Whether it be racing or sport, the Straight Up team has your back. Now, from the studios of TAB Radio, welcome to Straight Up.
Yes, welcome along to Straight Up. Now, we've got this event from Bunbury not far away, so we'll just introduce the team and work our way into it because we're 5 minutes away from Bunbury Race 4. Russell Collett from Collett Realty, from 6BR. He's from the National Travel Service. Bill Peach's Holidays.
How are you, mate?
Been away for a bit. McGinnity's here.
G'day,
Between the three of us...
Yes.
We've all had about 3.5 weeks holidays, haven't we? In the
yes.
And you've had them all.
Gee, it was good. I can highly recommend Cambodia. I can highly recommend Vietnam. And Thailand is just one of the great places in the world.
Well, I went to a Thai restaurant last night. There you go. That's as close as I can get.
It wasn't as cheap as the Thai food I ate, but I tell you what, it was really good. Great to be back, boys. Good to see you.
McGinnity's here. He's up and about. Loves a bit of fibre sand action. How are you going on the punt today?
Hello, Rusty. Hi, Mark.
G'day, mate.
Yeah, just none from 2. All good.
I'm not big on the fibre sand. I just want to get used to it so far. But it looks good. It's good
It's going along right.
Going good.
Yeah.
I think it'll be coming in very handy in coming winters. That's
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. As it has here.
Now, the butcher at the Mundaring Hotel, he's sponsoring the best texter of the day, 0427789571 for Retrovision. Where's the Odie Cologne gone? I don't know where it's gone. It's gone MIA. But the butcher said to me, he said, and we want to put this out to our listeners on that text line for the Mundaring. We were discussing it a couple of days ago, and I said, I'll put it out to the Straight Up family. If we put a lunch on at the Mundaring for the Straight Up team, 5-6 weeks' time, whatever deal that the butcher will do for us, are you interested in coming along? We all meet as one family. It's not a panel show or anything like that. It's just a get-together.
It'll be fun.
A good old love-in.
Great spot for lunch.
Oh, McGinnity, there'll be Collett, the Mauler will make a performance, and then all the team off the text line.
Absolutely.
Peng.
Sounds good to me.
Peng's there. He'll be running around, waddling. Doogs. Peng and Doogs together, hit the line, locked up. Heads up, heads down. So that's the first one. So get your text in. If we could find the phone, we might be able to read some out, but it's GAWN.
Now, I've got the Mauler's tips have already come in.
You hold them back, mate.
I'm holding them up.
Just keep them. Otherwise, I get Mauler's tips and they'll turn off.
We'll
lose the audience.
They're locked in.
We'll lose the audience. Well, at least half the audience. So that's the first one. Now we've got the Dianella TAB. The boys there, John and Rowett. Last week's winner was Gordon. Gordon won it with the quaddie last week. Good on you, Gordon. Long-time listener. first-time quaddie player, and you got the money. So he's already gone in and collected his mate.
Fantastic. Dianella.
What we do, we send your details to John and Rowett.
Yep.
They contact the winner,
Perfect.
and then you go into the Dianella TAB and shake hands with the boys and get your 100 to have a bet with there
How
and then.
good is that?
Great.
So that's a bit of housekeeping out of the way. I'm worried about this phone, Russ.
It'll be found, mate. Don't worry.
HG
Won't
Bolton
be too
Sprint.
far away.
What do we think about the Bolton Sprint as a synopsis overview,
Yeah,
holistically,
we're excited
over the
about
top?
There's some very competitive racing this weekend. It's going to be a great meeting down there in Bunbury. And how good is Bunbury been, not just on the 5%, but holding up beautifully? It's had a lot of racing, and that track's still performing well.
Just had to shoulder a load, Mart.
Shoulders to the wheel. Where do you rate Bunbury as a town? I used to love going to Bunbury. Every school holidays from Kalgoorlie, we'd fill up the old HR station wagon and drive from Kalgoorlie and go to Bunbury via the Flag Lodge in Perth. A couple
You're a
of
big
days
crabs
there.
man, weren't you? Back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah, still am. Yeah, love them. In fact, there's talk about mud crabs in Port Hedland. Troy Morrissey keeps mentioning them.
Oh, you're heading up.
Yeah, we're up there for the Cup.
Fantastic.
Alex Wahos, the Golden Greek and myself are up there with Jeff Miller.
Oh,
I don't know if Jeff will have more drinks or bets. Okay,
you'll need a tally.
It'll be interesting. We'll put that to our straight-up listeners. 7-ounce beers or bets for Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
They're moving in well here at Bunbury. We better get on course. Darren McCauley's our man calling the action. First up here from Jean, she wants to know from you, Russell, what was the best beer you drank when you were away?
Angkor was really, really good.
Who?
And
Anchor?
Angkor, Ankor, not Anchor.
Okay.
And another really good one was San Miguel.
San Miguel.
Yeah, San Miguel Light. But
Light?
it's not a light beer.
Oh.
It was light on carbs. But there you go.
Okay.
Really good beer.
Thought you were looking slim.
Yeah.
Every beer up there, cold in a shop's about $2.
Beautiful. And you drank responsibly, of
Of
course.
course, and water, which I do drink a bit of.
Yeah.
20 cents a bottle, cold in a shop, in a single pack. How do we pay $5.50 here?
Oh, it's heavily taxed.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, now this is a good one on the text line for you, McGinnity. Australia Post, your parcel is currently being processed due to an invalid postal code, cannot be delivered.
Has it cleared customs?
It's best regards, the Australian Post team. It says this is for McGinnity. Get those quaddies in for the Dianella TAB. If you can put on it straight up quad, it makes it easiest for us to find it. Afternoon, boys. Benny from Bunbury. Did you happen to hear Eddie Maguire on drugs in the AFL the other day? The man is spot on. Got to be careful with this. I don't know where you're going here, Benny. If it was anyone else, I'd just go straight into it. But
He's a Jet.
You're a watch.
Benny and the Jets.
Being a Pies supporter, my question is, why wouldn't the AFL approach him for the top job? He would whip this place, which is currently a crap show, into shape within months. Maybe they know it and are too scared to change. If not, Eddie should put his hand up and run our great game. As I said, he would improve the current climate 110%. Cheers. That is from Benny of Bunbury. Good one to get the ball rolling there, Benny.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, look, he's been a marvel all the way through, Eddie Maguire. The only problem would be
Collingwood.
him in charge. They'd never travel at all. Those 3 games they do travel, they wouldn't. They'd stay at the MCG. And remember, they had travel sickness last week.
Yes.
Cost them
It's a
badly.
big flight up to Gold Coast.
It's a long way to Melbourne. It's over an hour and a half.
Can you go direct now, or is there a connector?
Oh, they would have had a direct flight, surely.
Yeah, you would have hired one. Anyway,
Jet.
it was a good game, and I
was a
was
beauty.
wrong again, and everyone else seemed right. The rail's out 5 metres the entire on Saturday at Bunbury. It's a soft 6. I had a bit of rain down there today, McGinnity. A lot of rain.
Right.
You across that?
A little bit coming Friday as well.
Is there?
And
But not
maybe
much Saturday
Not much Saturday.
is the forecast. But Sunday a lot, 20 to 30 mils, but it won't matter,
Not on Sunday.
which is good.
So, yeah, let's hope it stays away on race day.
Yes.
Okay, so that rail at 5 and the weather forecast, how do you think it'll play?
But I'm going with on pace until it tells me otherwise. But how it actually plays remains to be seen.
Yeah, okay. Stock standard answer from the great man. Never fails. We better get through a few of these. Mick Russell, Rockingham. I hear the junior development from 14 years young in Victoria is more in depth than here in WA. Is this true? Oh, that was for Mick. All right, there's been a couple in for Mick. Well, we didn't have the phone at the time, so what I'll do, I'll text Mick throughout the show today, and hopefully he can get back to us in between taking the Keeler boys for training. Let's get into this. Looks a pretty good meeting. Your overall thoughts, Russ? You're quite happy. You doing battle with the punters down there? You fielding?
No, week
you don't
after.
travel.
No, week after. I do travel. I just don't travel a lot in winter. I'm not really a winter person, Mark.
I noticed that. You're spending a lot of time overseas.
Well, it was sunny overseas.
Cambodia, do you rate the place?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good. Really, really good.
Right. So if anyone listening in wants to know, you'll set up an itinerary for them. And
no problem at all.
It's just
travel AI, they call me.
Trombone travel.
Yes. Why not?
Trombone.
I hope we get the trombone going next week. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right.
It looks all right. Competitive fields. It's a good little race meeting.
He's been in four in the mauler. Why has he been tipping some winners? And we'll have his tips coming up for you very soon. Join the club corporate membership plate. It's over 1,000 metres is race one. Time to go 12:51. Fiery Spark, 5:57 back into 5:50. Ripper Rupert, 6:57 back into 6. Number 3, Call Nick, 6 out to 7:50. 4, Gentleman's Code is it's interesting, 41.71. And then they've just, backed this horse a place a bit into 31. 5, Playing Free is 41 to 21. Number 6, Slip the Jab, 31 into 15 after opening at 21. 7, Paint It Red, 9 into 7.50. Geez, you've got a good book here, McGinnity. Must win on this, surely. Number 8, Why She Stayed. I ask that all the time. 61 to 34. 9, Corocayo's 91. 10, Our Girl Can Run, 460. And 11, Vino Miss Off the Trial, 364, 40 back to 4.
Yeah, smart. Vino Miss, 1,250 there at the 380. Fury Spark, a couple of $400 bets there at the $6.50 and $6. Ripper Rupert, ESP money, 400 at the 5.50. Fury Spark, ESP money there, more each way. Call Nick, 300 at the 7.50. As you said, Mart, yeah, pretty good book because we're also just out wide. The ESPs are snipping away at Slip the Jab, Gentleman's Code, Playing Free, Why She Stayed even each way. So nice little book, except there's a lot of money coming through for Vino Miss and Fury Spark up the top there.
Okay, there's a bit of speed in this.
Very important to get the speed maps on, especially the way Bunbury's playing.
We've got to get back to our listeners too on martinmaps.com. We've got to go to them for advice again, the audience.
Well, Rusty was saying earlier, there's been international interest in this product. Like they wouldn't leave them alone in Cambodia after just the platinum package and how they can avail themselves to it.
And you've always loved a surprise, haven't you, Mart?
Yeah, I sort of do. It depends what sort of a surprise it is.
You get these little surprises every now and then when you're over in
Oh, there you go.
That is outstanding.
He's done it.
And, things happen.
Yes, well done. Never miss a map again.
Never miss a map again, of course.
Get Mart's premium package. I got to put this on.
Yeah, mate. No, well, I picked them up while I was there in Vietnam just to get these samples happening because we lost that container, of course, on the voyage across. But I think they've come up a treat.
Absolutely brilliant. We'll get a photo of these done and send them out with the tips. And when do they officially go on sale, Russ? Now you've taken over the merchandising.
You have to approve the merchandising protocols. But once we've got that done and the map and, of course, the website up, which won't be too far away, we're up and running.
Sort of done it back to front a little bit.
We have, but you've got to get the samples in first.
Yeah. All right, so in all seriousness, Ripper Rupert from 1 can go very quickly, so can Slip the Jab and Paint It Red coming across. They're my 3 leading division. Also, Fiery Spark will want to be in there somewhere. And what do we do with this very impressive trial of Vino Miss after she blew the start in the trial?
Yeah, expecting them to be sort of just miled out. early and hoping to be midfield.
Yeah, I think the map's spot on, mate. I think you've got it spot on. Terrific opener down there for the babies. I was very, very good work from you to find Vino Miss. I thought could have been one of those ones that went up a bit wider, but spotted in the trial. It was an interesting trial. If you get a chance to see it on the Rawa website or on the Tab Touch website, it was slow out, looked a bit raw, gathered itself, came racing up along the rail, and then had a very ice-like grip on it as they hit the line. Nice trial. For a sixth in a trial, it was as good as sixth as you'll see in a trial. I was very taken by Our Girl Can Run from the Mitch Pateman stable. Blinkers on, had blinkers in the trial. The thing I liked most about this horse was that it led. And when you're talking baby racing, I think if you're out in front and out of trouble, it's a big help for the punters. So Our Girl Can Run, very impressive. I know it's drawn 8, showed enough speed to get across these, I think. It waltzed in its trial, playing free by 6.3 lengths, had the blinkers on, has the blinkers on debut, looked a real type, and at 460 you're almost getting each way. Paint It Red, of course, will also go forward. I can see possibly Our Girl Can Run parking on Paint It Red from the Ballantine stable, showed a lot of speed there, and he's on the 7-day backup. It's a very good race. Bit of specking early for Fiery Spark. It won like a good horse on debut. Then sat one a little bit disappointing there at its follow-up start, but only had the one trial in between. Won the trial well. It could have just been the run itself. And good to see Sean McGrady back aboard Fiery Spark. Ripper Rupert, very good debut. Second to Split the G, the stablemate. Going back to the 1st of March at Ascot. Brilliant debut. Good trial. No blinkers in the trial. Probably worth noting. It was only a 400-metre trial. Ran okay. Ran really well in that trial. And, of course, Call Me Nick, the other interesting runner, and certainly in the market at around about $7, I think, $7.50 now with William Pike aboard. It bolted in its 930-metre trial. It was something obviously went wrong on debut, beaten by 9 lengths, missed it and just was never in it. Tongue Tie On is interesting, back after one trial, and of course the PS boys are going well. So a great race to open up. There's plenty of chances in it. Bit of specking there, Gentleman's Code, I'd say you might have some sort of a possibility. Playing free, they paid good money for it, was okay, but it was beaten 6 lengths in that trial. Good race, looking forward to it. It will be a great opener for Bunbury on Saturday.
One off the text line here from Quinny, and Quinny said Helen Keller would have spotted that one off the trials. Drop off, Russ.
He's a harsh man.
It's a great race to dissect. Our Girl Can Run did trial very nicely, and obviously noting the time, but there wasn't a great time difference between it and Vino Miss, and Vino Miss obviously was pretty hard held, but we saw a few come out and run pretty well behind Our Girl Can Run, including Crimson Pirate was a nice debut, and Riva Aquarama was a very nice debut. So there's a bit to go on with there, and I think the form from both those trials will be great. I'm pretty keen our Vino for sort of 50 plus, which is around the traps now, will get me, and I think there's probably a bigger price to come late, because when they don't have exposed time and data in their trials, they sort of tend to drift a little bit late.
Yeah, a couple of very clever yards. I think you can almost back 2 here and get away with it each way. Our Girl Can Run. It got me in the trial, waltzed in, just slightly quicker time than Vino Miss. It was under a hard held, the other one of Robert and Katie Witten's, Sean O'Donnell. I think the 2 debutantes may even fight this out here, but a good race to open, plenty of chances.
Well, race number 2, this is the Machinery West handicap over the 1400, time to go at 1:31, and 1 is Timeless Gem, 350, 360, 310, 2 Allentown, 420, traded up to $5.50, back to $4.80, 3 Surf Patrol, 911, 950, 4 Tactics, 41, 5 Naughty Torty, 4 to 460, back to 380. 6 Strapping Profit, 11 to 950. 7 Zucconi, $658. 8 Jelly Bean Jones is 41. 9 Carn Up Queen is 41, and 10 Magical Sequence at $16.
Local Sharpies keen at Naughty Torty, 600 at the 420, 300 at the 440, 400 at the $4. ESP money strapping profit each way. Surf Patrol each way also getting ESP money at around that $10 mark. Timeless Gem, there's a 500 there at the 320. Plenty more place activity. Surf Patrol, that ESP place money is certainly piling up. But I've got to say the biggest go, one of the better goes of the day is Naughty Torty. As much as the market move isn't huge, it's been bigger prices earlier nationally, and it's been a pretty strong go. So that price is only just holding up at $3.80 for now, but I'm expecting it to start a fair bit shorter by the time they are released.
Yeah, the session's gelding expected to zoom across from 8 and lead. Simon Miller trains. Timeless Gem probably comes across, I would imagine, 8 and 9. Barry's 8 and 9, I should say. And I thought Tactics would just want to kick up behind them as well from barrier 6. You got anything else to offer there?
Yeah, possibility of like a Jellybean Jones or an Allentown being handish, trying to capitalise on their gates, but nothing special.
Won't be taking those other two.
They won't be taking them on to lead. No, I wouldn't have thought.
It was impressive. Naughty Torty. It was a big win. Hit the line at 100 miles an hour. Goes from Jefferson, the Starship sang, to Lucy Fiore. So you're not missing out much there. Up 2.5 kilos. That was a very, very impressive win at Northam. If you go back and watch it, you could certainly be in that corner. I think Timeless Gem has always had me, even before it started. It's just its early trials. If you've seen the horse live, it's a really good-looking bay gelding by I Am Immortal. Nice type, this Timeless Gem, and its forms accordingly very, very consistent. I think it'll get the sit here. Whether it will like the sit on Naughty Torty, who'll be running, is to be seen. But again, a good race. I think they're the two that clearly are on top, and the market agrees with that. Allentown, I'm just worried with that barrier 2, how far back it gets, and whether it can be maybe 3 back or 4 back in traffic. Surf Patrol's been very consistent, impeded a bit the other day, but it also might find a bit of traffic from the 3. So I'm going certainly Timeless Gem. I'm going each way, or certainly 20 by 30. I'm going that way over Naughty Torty, even though it let them bolt it in, and it gets Lucy Fiore on top. I just don't know whether it can back that run up. It was it's hard to do to bounce off a performance that strong and continue it on from coming out of Maiden Company. So I'm sticking with Timeless Gem over Naughty Torty. Strapping Profit, who ran a third to Naughty Torty on debut, coming from a long way back after it drew wide, and then got 3 back on the rails in that run in its latest run at Northam, was also pretty impressive when it bolted in at Northam in the maiden race there. It won with its ears pricked. It's probably the 3rd pick. Zucconi with the leading stable on the stake, Grant and Alana Williams and William Pike. Again, a good win there in the Class 1, but a tricky draw. And even though the combo's brilliant, it'll need a brilliant ride from Willie in this to figure in the placings there. They're clearly, for me, the top 4. And again, a good race there for the 3-year-olds in Bunbury.
There's some very informed horses in this race. There's good numerical form here, a bit of depth.
Yeah, no, it's a beauty.
There's a bit of progressive type action going on here, Mart.
PTA.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Progressive type action.
Yeah.
We love an acronym here.
That's a beauty. Yeah, no, I like it.
So
nothing for me at current prices.
No, okay. What were you hoping for?
May have availed myself to something early, but it's gone now, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. From the text, I'm going to keep moving on these because you get on. This is from Glenn from Fremantle. Geez, Marty, I was hoping that if I put the Motzer on Woburn Gold last week, it would blow the SP out.
I thought about this, bloke.
It didn't work. But seriously, I'm here to take my medicine. What a terrible call. Was the only leg I missed in the Dianella TAB comp as well.
No.
My quad tips this week for what they're worth are below. Love the show. GWS by 3 figures tonight. Yes, well, they could be. You're on the money there, Glenn. Peter. On the team lunch, some of us work, Mart, and aren't able to swan around having Laurie Connell-style 3-hour switch lunch breaks. That is from Peter.
3 hours, that's cute, Peter.
Yeah, yes.
I thought it'd be longer than that.
Oh, easy. That's
Also, there's a bad flu going around. Just pretend you've got it.
G'day, boys. Good to see Rusty back after Riley's cameo on racing.com the other day. Let's say it's best if he stays on radio. That is Marcel from Melville. He's doing a good job there today, Marcel, at Bunbury. Make no mistake about that.
He's dressed up nice too.
Yeah, and he's tipped the first 2 winners. He's on fire. The Nixon Electrical Handicap Bunbury race number 3 on Saturday over the 1400. Time to go at 9 minutes past 2. And one outspoken lad is $8.50 to $13 back to 11. Has there been a bit of money around a few of these races?
It really has. This has been a good betting meeting, actually. Yeah, it's great to see.
It's strange, isn't it? Sometimes on those big bets on a Sunday, you get, 10 bets at 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Next minute, you must have some punter running wild who's had 100 grand on him or 60 grand and 40 grand. You can't pick it, can you?
It's maybe it's got something to do with the better type weather forecast, or maybe more confidence, or people just up and about because
someone's having a bet
because the merch is finally released.
It's good. The merch.
Excited.
2 Linden's Gold is $6. 3 Platinum Shot 7. 4 West Aussie is 71. Same price Birds a Word. Specking Planet Cash 10, 14, 11. 7 Catch These Hands 14, 13. Forever Dreaming $19. Spect On Patrol is $4.80. Who found that when it won last start? They need a tick. I think Riley did. 10 Ton of Grunt is $12. 11 Agent J 26 into 15. 12 Bondi Bubble 61. 13 Rockin' 1 to 7 to 440. There's a good meerkat for our punters. And Flinders Lane's $81.
Yeah, you noticed that, but you didn't notice me tipping On Patrol too. Yeah, it's good. Thanks, Martin.
Was it you?
Riley hasn't even been here for 6 years, but you still miss out. Yeah, thanks, mate.
It was a good win, wasn't it?
You're a supportive bloke, Mart. Planet Cash.
Don't get me started.
Planet Cash, couple 150 each way at the $13. Rockin' Wonder. Oh, Mart. This is a good old-fashioned Bunbury meerkat. Where do we start? Well, 250 at the 7, 200 at the 7, 500 at the 5, 300 at the 550. A couple hundred each way there at the 7. Gee, I must have been a bit slow in turning this off. Even a couple hundred at the 440. Agent J ESPs place heavy at the 5 and 480 place money. Linden's Gold 300 at the 550. That is about it. We can go into a little bit of the ESP sort of snipping. Horses like Outspoken Lad. Agent J's been pretty well snipped away at place heavy, and Forever Dreaming's another one.
Blinkers again, Agent J, and maybe a boxing up on the pace with that gear change. Rockin' Wonder from Barrier 2, I think, is probably your leader, and there's also going to be a bit of pace, I think, in this from Catch These Hands from Barrier 14.
The money tells you that a few people are quite confident that Rockin' Wonder will be leading.
Yeah. That's the leader.
And leading comfortably. I think that's the MO behind a few of these goes.
Alva's loved leading for a long time, hasn't she? She loves the horses there. Jess is there on top, and Barrier 2, you think it leads?
Yeah, I had it leading pretty comfortably.
I've got it to soft lead.
Yep.
2 words, soft lead, and I think that's where the supports come from. The martsmaps.com is spot on. I think it'll just lead, and it's hard to see what will actually chase up behind it. Agent J with the blinkers back on might get a nice little spot in behind the leader. This horse is impressive, though. When it gets left alone in front, it can really roll along.
Who, the Rock?
Yeah, Rockin' Wonder. Nice horse. And that run has been franked, of course. That's second to Fancy Red. Well, Fancy Red's probably one of the best form lines at the moment going around the state.
Gone bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, and everything that seems to be finishing behind it seems to be saluting as well. So it's a really good form line. Hard to beat. If you got the $7, great shopping. Well done to you. I certainly wasn't aware that it went up at $7, or I also would have been patting myself on the back. But even at $4.40, I think it's a good price. Victoria Corver rides this horse all the time, knows the horse well. Great second first up. Should only be fitter for the run. Agent J, you can see why the specking's there. Blinkers back on. Lucy takes over from Amy Joe. He goes up at 4.5 kilos in weight. But it was 3 wide, no cover last start, and held on okay in the straight there, only beaten 4.8 lengths. On Patrol, boy, oh boy, that was a win. It came from a long way back, and even 200 metres out. I'd love to know what the live betting was, because you just didn't give it a hope in hell. Hope in high 80. So it was a very, very impressive win. Trickier draw again, drawn 12. It's probably going to be out the back again. And if this horse gets what I can perceive as some sort of nice, soft lead without too much pressure, can roll along a bit, and then dig her up into the straight, dig him up in the straight, I think he's going to be very, very hard to beat, Rocking Wonder. Other horses that are going okay, tough gate for Lyndon's Gold, but you've got William Pite to help steer it. Another one that came from a mile back to win at Bunbury on that heavy 9. A Platinum Shot doesn't win at this sort of in the city often. Its last 3 wins have been Northern Narrogin and Albany, so I'm a little bit wary there. Cassie's Hands had the 2 runs for the pavement yard. Both of them were full of merit. The third at Ascot behind Angel Undercover was very good, and the fourth had a little bit of a break since back off 91 days. Trial was okay. I just think it might need a bit further than 1400, and we'll probably enjoy the benefit of the run. Tunner Grunt, another get-back runner. It needs luck. 401 days since its last win, and it will be back. Bondi Bubbles, tongue-tied for the first time, is interesting. Backing up off 7 days is also interesting. But, yeah, I'm clearly in the corner of Rocky and Wonder, and I think it'll get a good run. I think it'll lead, and I think it'll be very hard to beat.
3 horses. Lyndon's Gold will get me for something. Planet Cash should drift again, hopefully, and get me something. But the main bet will be Outspoken Lad, who's actually ready to win. Class Dropper, nice draw, will track the leader, I think, and be very close to winning. Pretty keen, Outspoken Lad.
There's never been a better time than now to stop what you're doing and tune in to Straight Up, TAB Radio's weekly podcast that will guide you through the difficult journey that is the punt. Whether it be racing or sport, the Straight Up team has your back. Now, from the studios of TAB Radio, welcome to Straight Up.
Welcome to Straight Up. To have your say, send in a text on 0427 789 571. The best texter on today's show will win a $100 voucher to be redeemed at the magnificent Mundaring Hotel, the heart of the hills since 1899. Go to mundaringhotel.com.au.
Yeah, keep those texts coming in. Your Straight Up quads as well. Hi guys. 100% be attending the meetup, assuming there's some sort of notice to get work off. Any chance we can have a beef Wellington put on the special bar? That's a very good idea, Zach. Zach, you're very good at this texting business. Just make sure where the mushrooms have been sourced from. Surf Patrol Race 2, my best of the day. Great price, great form. Coming off on a horrendous ride last start, and he's put his Straight Up quad in. That is Zach. And Jared in Scarborough. I believe Jared's over in Sri Lanka at the moment.
Well, it's a very nice photo on X at the moment, yeah.
What's a sort of return airfare, say, economy to Sri Lanka? You go to Colombo these days, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
fly to Colombo.
Return, you get a good flight there.
Yeah. What's the cost through russellstravels.com?
Oh, it'll be 600, 650.
Trombone Travel.
Sitting at the back of the plane.
Trombone Travel, that's it. Trombone Travel. Okay, we're still listening down the line to old Cobb. He's got it all covered down there if anything's going to happen with regard to this race won by T-Biscuit and Holly Nottle. What are you doing, Russ, over there?
Just looking, mate. Interim still on. I'm just keeping an eye on the tab touch here.
Yep. Okay.
What do you think is going to happen? Let's discuss it.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because at what point, with the vision that we can see when she loses.
What do you think?
The
30 metres out?
30 metres out.
Yep.
How close does your horse? And by the way, you've got a vested interest in this, so you need to declare that to our listeners.
Yeah.
That you're a part owner of the second horse.
Indeed.
Yeah, so should he leave the room at this stage?
I think he should.
This isn't a steward's inquiry, champions. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because it did look like some weight was relieved of the horse before the winning post. So, but how much weight? And
that's what it comes down to.
And then how do you quantify that? You need a physicist.
You either weigh in light or you don't. I think that's the.
I'm a sort of a bit that way.
I think that's how the rules are. I think you have half a kilo to play with, and I think you can weigh the bridle. I think
she can call for the bridle, as they say they can do.
It'll come down to what that weight was that fell out.
Yep.
And
unfortunate for Holly, because she was caught up in another situation in Port Hedland.
About six weeks ago.
Now Sean McGruddy, shooter, says not sure you can call for the bridle anymore. Okay, so we'll take you on that one, shooter. Thanks for listening, mate, and thanks for the text.
It's good info.
Yeah, for the Mundaring Hotel.
And she did a great...
that was
a fabulous ride for a
that was the amazing part of it.
Apprentice.
Because...
It'd be heartbreaking for her if
she was just sort of nursing it along, happy to be there. Then all of a sudden the pressure from your mares come up on her outside, and she actually... It was like Frank Treen style, wasn't she? Yeah. She was kicking with her legs back and pushing forward to get the horse across the line.
Yep. No, great ride.
Now, Mac's talking on the phone to the steward, so we're going to have some word on this pretty soon. More straight-up quaddies have come through. Greg L, who's been in wonderful form, wonderful touch of late. Got to play the long game with Harley and the Eagles. Will reap the rewards later on by building a side around him and becoming a destination club once again. Now, just hold on. Here's Darren.
Ladies and gentlemen, after an inquiry into the incident where a lead bag and packing had come out underneath the saddle of the winner in T-Biscuit, they did call for the bridle to make the weight, but they haven't been able to make the correct weight and found themselves less 700 grams with the gear coming out prior to the post. Now, the margin, of course, is a short neck. So, therefore, the horse first over the line in T-Biscuit has been disqualified. Great shame for the connections. T-Biscuit been disqualified, and the new numbers are now 4 Santanova, who gets one by default virtually, 2 Laquetta's Gift, 3 Dreamtime Gene, 9 Looks. The new numbers are 4, 2, 3 and 9. And just extraordinary situation. Great disappointment for Kirsten Melisone, a trainer of T-Biscuit, and certainly notwithstanding also rider Holly Nottle down here, Marty, who did a superb job, all things considered, to get the horse home after the saddle went early on in the race. But it didn't quite go their way. They couldn't quite make weight with the bridle, and therefore the winner of the race, first over the line, T-Biscuit, has now been disqualified.
Well, there you have it, and well covered too, Darren. Well done on that. Our man on the spot. You heard it live here on TABradio as well, and we'll wait for these revised dividends to come through. And, well done. You've owned a winner.
Yeah.
You don't feel comfortable?
No, not really.
It's a tough way to win one. It is a tough way to win. We were just commenting, you were actually just commenting before we noticed that what a terrific ride it was from her. So it's a
racing's a game of good luck and bad luck. And you don't like that sort of bad luck.
And as Max said, it was a brilliant ride, and very unlucky for the young lady. I reckon though she'll win a lot of fans out of that ride, and everyone knows the name now, Holly Nottle, no doubt about that.
She's winning a lot of fans already. She's showing very good signs.
Okay, very good.
So we'll go back to Greg L, but like you've done with Riley and Marty, is showing some promise, but still a long way to go. So we're talking about Harley Reid. So keep chipping away with him, and we will see what happens in the future. Just let me know the day and time for the straight-up lunch at the Mundaring, Marty, and I'll be there quicker than the baby Cindy's boyfriend when the car pulls up. See you then. That is from Greg L. Get your quaddie in as well, Greg, the straight-up quaddie. One more before we get cracking. We better have a look at the winner of Grafton Race 1. I'll come back on that one. That sounds like it could be a bit on the edge as well. So, revised dividends, Bunbury. Here they go. 4239, Santanova, Chris Parnham, 330, 140. Laquetta's Gift at 210. Dreamtime Gene at 230. Geez, if you're on that at the big odds each way, you've snuck into an each way collect by default. Quinella 1370, Exacta 2330, the trifecta 159.60. First 4, 4239, $670.79, and 4 the double 38.90, 11 and 12 out. Bunbury race number 6. 1 is Royal Trooper at 8.52. Why Me 310. 3 Wicked Cool 31. 4 Arkum 14. 5 Lien Hafen $4. 6 Only Us 8.50. 7 She's a Sheila 7.50. 8 Gone Drinkin' 12. 9 Warley Diamond 71, and 10 Lady Ducati is 10 into 7 Chanel Cooper, and that is the MGIB handicap on the fibre sand 1800 metres and it is due to go in 15 minutes.
In on my text line, my text is from Fideli, who's apparently fixing up some cray pots at the moment. Can you believe it? I've had one bet today.
Oh, no.
Tea biscuit. And he's got with the emoji with the crying. Do you be unlucky?
That's brutal.
And I think it's World Emoji Day today as well, so get your emojis in as well.
Lucky there, Fideli.
Yeah.
And there'd be other punters out there
Just
that maybe
play light with the aubergines, please, everyone.
Well, someone's probably got the first four the revised way.
There'll be winners and losers,
yeah,
right?
that's it. That's the game, isn't
There'll
it?
be winners and losers.
$670 has jumped into someone who wasn't going to get it 15, 20 minutes ago.
We better get cracking here too. We're dragging. Yep. It's over the 2,231 metres. Time to go 2:44. And one is Fat Roy Slim 17-2, done with the Blues 320. 3 Snazzler 460. 4 Let's Deal, the big horse. Shooter McGruddy listening in 10 into 9. Cosmic Chaos is 850 to 650. Admired 71. 7 Amazing Cheating, good form at $7. Number 8 is Dark Looks 16 into 10. 9 For Your Eyes is 26. 10 Gracious Deo $20. 11 Sluice Box 41 and 12 Tony Spirit 71. There's some good old battlers going around in this one as well, isn't there?
Wow.
Hey?
So go along with a few good old battlers in this studio, Mart. 3 of them. 1,000 done with the Blues at the 320. Let's Deal 300 each way at the $10. Well punted, Mart. Done with the Blues a couple of hundred at the $3. Oh, champion. Cosmic Chaos, a couple of hundred at the 7. Dark Looks, ESP money, place heavy. Bit of money starting to roll through for Snazzler as well. Rusty?
Yeah, talking about Snazzler, happy birthday to Ben Azari.
Oh, the big
Snazzler
bear.
himself, it's his birthday today, so there you go.
It's his birthday today.
It is, mate. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
Brady Nazari, what a legend.
He's a ripper.
Yeah.
Had a lot of laughs with Brett over
Yeah,
the years.
you only laugh when you're with Brett. That is a truism. Tough map. You got to go to the. You got to go to. I don't know.
This is a really tough map.
Does he lead on Amazing Cheat?
I couldn't work it
possibility.
out. I could not work it out.
No. There'll be a leader somewhere. You've got to go to Premium to get that.
For Your Eyes, maybe. What about Let's Deal? Is it time for Let's Deal to hit the front?
I'll tell you what, it is just about time. I think he should just be let to bowl along out in front. Not a care in the world. Just skip along out the front there. Shooter can be just enjoying himself.
Why not?
And let's see if he can do it.
Do that and ride a horse at the same time, but...
Well, I think he's got to have a go at some stage, doesn't he, the horse?
One bat's good. Like
he's a one batter.
Yeah, he's a beauty. So he could be that horse to go to the front in a race with a lack of speed.
He's tricky too. He gets keen, doesn't he, a bit Let's Deal. He's on and off.
It's more he hits that flat spot as well. When they start to sprint, you got to be able to him. No one rides him better than Shooter, so they'll work it out.
And he's been effective on give tracks too, hasn't he? So, well, there you go. That could be a plan there for Mr. Wolf and Shooter McGuane.
If Wolfie hears us saying it, I'll guarantee he'll go back to last.
He'll go back to last. You know he'll be chuckling right now in the stables.
What about, we're interviewing a bloke on Tuesday. What was his name? Rocket. He was a jockey. A trainer for Irish guy in Melbourne. And it's when they ask him for the tips early. It's just race 4 this. And I said, what's your backstory, mate? Haven't heard anything from me. He said, I actually started off over your way. He's got the heavy Irish accent. I arrived in Albany and spent 6 months with Steve Wolf.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he said, geez, he can drink Crownies. He said he's a world champion.
He's a jet, mate.
Yeah.
I had a very good day with Wolfie travelling down to Norseman and back from Kalgoorlie. He took a truckload of horses down there, and there was Noel Rudlin in the car and Trevor Alsop, Spriggy
Alsop.
You can just imagine the stories on the way back. It was a ripper. Great day. Great man, Wolfie. This race, if you can find the map, if it's Let's Deal or whoever is going to lead here, it'll be fascinating. I just could not find it. That said, though, another very competitive race. Done with the Blues. Spect early. Looks that flop second up. I think you can just sort of put a line through. That was a good win first up. When it went to the 16.90, might have been a little bit quick and also second up. But third up, sat in the box seat there behind Lorganicus. Fought it on well over the mile. 2,200 you'd think will suit this horse being a done deal, as is Let's Deal, the leader. Amazing Cheat. great form. I was trying to think today who would be the most amazing cheat we've had in sport, and I thought about Lance Armstrong. He'd be probably the most amazing. Seven Tour de France's by cheating. But there you go. I'd like to know on the text line what you think. Who is the
Controversial.
most amazing cheat of all time? He'd have to go close, wouldn't he?
He would. He's back, though. He's got his podcast. He's done his time. Don't be too hard on him.
Snazler?
You still had to do it. You can take as much as you want. You still got to do it.
Yeah, he did it 7 times. Snazler.
He lost some packing in the run too, didn't he?
I think he did.
Come on,
I think he did.
push through.
Yet to win beyond a mile, but an excellent trial the other day at the 2,000 metres in that race at Pinjarra showed that it can get the ground. That was a good quality race there behind Forever Boy. It's certainly in with a strong claim here. I'm going a little bit wider, though. I'm going for a horse. I think it's an out-and-out stayer. I think both the runs back have been okay. Both times settled a long way back from wide draws, and we get a Lucy Fiore, Simon Barras runner, the Cosmic Chaos. I can see drawn 3. I can see it figuring a lot closer. Very lightly raced 6-year-old. Hasn't won for almost a year, but every time it gets over serious ground, it does. It's won at 1,700, it's won at 1,800, and it has won at the 2,200. I really was impressed by the first up run. Second up run was okay, coming from last. I like it, and I do like Amazing Cheat. This could be that one there that as it finds, as it gets over ground, as it gets out, as it matures, at start number 16, first start beyond 1,700 metres, it just seems to finish over the top. And it finishes with a gusto. Loves Bunbury, the track. Dark looks, I can't have it. One win from 34 starts. And I know it's certainly in the marketplace a hell of a lot. Be a good place bet for somebody if that's the way you want to go. Fat Roy Slim I can't have without Pike. I think he's a Pike horse. I'm not no knock on the other rider, but all of his best form is with Willie Pike in it. So I'm going a little bit of value here. I'm going Cosmic Chaos.
At the current prices, nothing to add here. Are you surprised, Rusty, with the Cosmic Chaos price? I actually sort of thought we'd see low double figures or something by this stage and we get a chance to have a bet.
Yeah, my market before they went up was at $7. So I'm not surprised that it's around that mark now. I thought the early shopping at $8.50 wasn't too bad.
Do you do markets before they come up?
I do.
Can you send them through to me?
I'm more than happy to.
And let me bet to win a couple of thousand?
Yeah, we could do that.
Beautiful.
Especially some of the ones you put up. Absolutely.
Now, 15 away from 5. This is you done? Having a shot at our guests?
I'm going to be able to retire in 3 weeks, so this is fantastic.
Now, this will be the first leg of the Dianella TAB Straight Up Quaddie.
Tune in to Straight Up from 3 p.m. every Thursday and play the Dianella TAB Saturday Quaddie. Text in your Quaddie tips for Saturday's WA Metro meeting, and the winning Quaddie with the least selections will win a $100 betting voucher at the Dianella TAB, right outside the Dianella Plaza. Straight Up from 3 p.m. Thursday on TABradio, Racing and Sport.
Okay, Daniel from Inglewood, quickly, just wanting the unders and overs in the beers and bets for Jeff. I'm an unders man, but we'll take the overs on this one, I would say, Daniel from Inglewood. All I'll say, Daniel, I went to Roebourne with him and Carnarvon with him for a couple of meetings, and I think in the end the bet's a win. He doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind a bet, but geez, when you think about it, he doesn't mind a drink either.
Yeah, but it's just too hard to consume that sort of liquid to keep up with the amount of wagering he does. He'll give it a nudge, but it's just hard.
Yeah, they'll end up winning in the end. Tap touch past the post handicap, 1,000 metres. First leg of the quad. Mungo Jerry 26, Amaru Star $8 to $6, Empress of India $10, Art Session 8 to 7, Final Authority 51. This will show you 23. Top of the Walk 20 into 16, Real Deluxe 21 into 13. Scenic George is 17. Those colours have won a race today, the old Scenic Lodge. Sunshine Tafe 19. Terra Teef $3. Snow God 6 into 5. And then the Emergencies Diamond Dancers $13.
Snow God 1,000 at the 6. Empress of India a couple hundred each way at $9. Another couple hundred each way $9. Amaru Star ESP money at the $7.50. A little bit of snipping away by the ESPs and horses like Real Deluxe, Art Session. the money hasn't really come yet, Territif, but it's not far away, Rusty.
You can feel it coming.
Yep. They'll shoot the lights out here, won't they? Johnny Hunt, we had him on the program yesterday. What a performance from the great man. And they'll be shooting the lights out here. There's pace everywhere you want to see. Let's have a look. Down there in barrier 4 goes quick, nicely played, but probably doesn't get a run at this stage. Snow God has to come across from 14. Inside of him will be Real Deluxe, and this will show you. So there's good pace coming across. And Art Session will be kicking up there from barrier 5. So it's going to be on.
Yeah, no, great race for genuine speed. I actually, I'm probably going with Art Session to lead, especially with the blinkers going on for the first time and gaining the senior rider from Zephyr to Chris Parnham. Art Session, I have that as the leader of the race, and I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat at the 1,000 metres. A couple of these have drawn a bit wide. Amaru Star, nice horse, drawn a bit wide. Empress of India's got a tricky map from the 9. And even Real Deluxe, it'll be coming, it'll be running out early, but from 11. The good fresh horse, and boy, it was a good trial, Terra Tiff. For the trial watchers, you can see why it's opened up so figuratively in the market at $3. And Snow God, great win first up. That was an amazing win at Ascot. And then had the elevated heart rate after sitting in the death at the second start. Ran an okay fourth behind Wanda Winner. There was a spruik on the horse before that. The only worry for me is 168 days, no trial. So that's the only problem I can see there. You're guessing a bit whether they've got it, whether they got the horse nailed down, and of course the barrier again, barrier 14. So I think the race comes down to 2 horses. I think the favourite will be very, very hard to beat, Terra Tiff. But I'm edging and I'm staying with the leader, in my view, which will be Art Session. First time blinkers, Chris Parnham takes over, and it's going to be out of trouble, and that's where you probably want to be by race 5 at Bunbury, no matter what the pattern is.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to be a great watch, and you probably won't know where to look at about the 100-metre mark, Rusty. They could be coming from everywhere, and the leaders could be kicking. It'll be a just intriguing race to watch. That 3:30, 3:40 around the traps Territif might get me as a bit of a thrill-seeking bet, and even the Snow God price around the traps might get me as well. I'm aware they're the 2 favourites in a big field, so it's quite risky considering that they'll probably be midfield and back, but the prices are right, and you've got to follow your prices.
Yeah, and I just think Art Session drawn well, $7 on offer, $2.50 the drum fixed. It's a good price, about a litre.
It might cop some heat, but yeah, I can see your point.
There you go. So that's the race in summary, Mart.
Yeah, okay. Well, this last race at Bunbury, race number 6, is only 2 minutes off. We need to have a look at our quaddie should pays as well. Get through a few more texts. Royal Troopers being adrifted at $9. Why Me around the 320 mark. Same for Leon Hyphen is $4.80. They've specced Arkum, one of your favourites, Bradley. 41.34 into 15. And the Dutch Buster sent one through for you as well after your surprise win. She's a Sheila's $4.60 into $8. Sorry, out to $8. And 10 out to 11 goes Gone Drinking. 10 into 6.50 is Lady Ducati. Winning numbers you require for the quaddie are 1, 9 and 4. Should pays the 1 for Holly Noddle, 1102. 407 for Lucy Fiore. Alex Hearns on 3 at $5,000. Shani Webster on the 4 at $1,600. Tash Faithful on the 5 at $490. ZJP on the 6 for $1,300. Jagsy Turner, the 7 for $800. Lakhdar Romley for $1,000 on the 9. Lisa Staples, $11,000. And Chanel Cooper on Lady Ducati is paying $770. The Dutch Busters just saying that you would have been very excited and a bit more excited than Dwayne Johnson after the win of Sentin Over. Funny, you talk about amazing cheat. Reminds me of Tea Biscuit just then. Good to have Rusty Trombone back on the airwaves. That week with the Mauler gave me an ear infection. Just Dutchie's thoughts there. We're back on straight up, 3 away from 5. We've got to push through and then get hold of Brad Hardie. He's going to hopefully find us a winner for tonight. He's looking for about 3 in a row, I think, on the Thursday night tip. Been in very good form at it. Race number 6 at Bunbury on Saturdays, the Bunbury Volkswagen Handicap over the 1,000 metres. And this race is timed to go 3:52. And number 1 is Sinful Living, 9:52. Ain't No Other Man at 21.3. Desert Nymph, 14. 4 Hanchy is 6.50 into 5. 5 Desert Whisper, 280 into 210. 6 Songha, 31. 7 Miss Flirtatious, 31. 8 is Matty Girl, 464.20. Oracle Sun is 51 and Street Band at $26.
Thanks, Mart. One-way traffic. Desert Whisper.
Yep.
There's a little bit of ESP money for horses like Hanchy, little bit of Matty Girl money, but really it is just they've polled in Desert Whisper. We've got about 5 Eastern States pros that have backed it. 700, 500, 1,000, 1,000, 500, 500. Yeah, they're all pretty keen. This is, even money, Rossi.
Evening. Albert's game.
Approaching even money. Fair Step Up is pace in the race, but does look like it should be able to get to the front. Mark, sorry to step on your toes there. Let's see what the Platinum has to say.
Yes. Sorry, man, I'm just working here. So we've got kicking up from 1 Ain't No Other Man, Sinful Living from 5, and Desert Whisper 4. They all want to be involved in the early battle. They've all drawn well with Miss Flirtatious from 10 coming across.
It was big last week, wasn't it? It was very well
The
found.
Whisper.
The Whisper was huge.
Ooh.
Desert Whisper off the 7 days, off that win, just led and just didn't give anything else a chance there. It was the heavy 9. I don't think it'll be a heavy track there on Saturday. I'd be very surprised if it is. But the way it went about it, it just put them away. The Rommels actually had a pretty good day that day.
Having a good run.
They're having a good run.
Out of the ground, absolutely.
Yep.
But Desert Whisper off the quick back up, you can see why they're coming for. What they saw last week was no fluke. The horse is in form. The win before that against My Hidden Universe is a nice gallop also. We give that a real an up-and-coming progressive type. So Desert Whisper at even money. Even money's getting a little bit short for me personally. I'm looking for something to beat the favourite. I'm sort of thinking Hanchy. A fairly decent hoop swap, getting Chris Parnham back on board, drawn 2. Had a bit of interference between the 400 and the 100 there last start, and that 4th to Sisu Warrior. Horse is flying. I've always had an opinion of this horse. It did just miss the day when it ran second there at Pinjarra, and I can just see this horse lurching very, very late and really tackling this favourite. But there you go. I'm going Hanchy as the each way. Desert Whisper will be hard to beat. Desert Nymph is the interesting runner. 301 days, no trial. Certainly has shown enough. Excellent record. Good wet tracker. And Lucy sticks with Desert Whisper, however. And he's drawn a little bit tricky. Ain't No Other Man always gives its best. It was a decent trial. Very, very decent trial. Sinful Living, probably get the sit on the back of Desert Whisper, or it may even be sitting outside of the leader. Matty Girl, drop 6 kilos, slipped at the start the other day. If you go back and have with the replay, and it was noticeable in that run at Pinjarra, when it was first up and it was favourite. Pikey sticks to it, and riding this with just 54 kilos, it must also have a very strong claim. But I'm going Hanchy. Good-looking horse, so I think each way is a good price. But Luke Fernie's horse will be very hard to run down.
Yeah, looking to take on the favourite big time now at this price. Does tend to jump well and muster so quickly, but there's always that chance that you miss it by a bit or you can get cross. There's a bit of pressure here. So if Sinful Living had drawn inside it, I'd be making a pretty strong case. It's almost a disrespectful price for a horse coming out of a really nice run in a much stronger race. Matty Girl's probably the one I can look at, $5-ish around the traps to stalk, but Desert Whisper's going that well. I certainly wouldn't be playing large, but Matty Gill's probably the one I can look at having a little wager on.
This AFL update with Brad Hardie is brought to you by Retrovision and Loans 123. Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members save an additional 5% every day at Retrovision. Car loans, debt consolidation, home improvement loans. Who do you call? Steve Sell at Loans 123. Loans123.com.au.
Very good evening, Bradley.
Hello, Marty. G'day, Rusty. Good to be with you, boys. Have you both got a pair of boots? Essendon might need you.
Yeah. No, I'm ready for a game by about, not next week, the weekend after. I think I'll just be ready for a call up. We've had one text already come in so they could get beat by 3 figures tonight.
Yeah, look, that can always be the flippant way of looking at things. But, as you and I spoke about this morning, Marty, off air, that the half a dozen they're bringing in bring about 600 games of experience. So, look, they're not necessarily in great form, but hopefully there's a little bit of damage control there, Rusty, so they can at least be competitive without being stupid. So, yeah, but I dare say you'd think that the Giants need to keep winning and would like to post a good score in regards to percentage because that may be very important towards the end of the year.
It's an incredible fact, isn't it, that 13 players now have debuted this season for Essendon. That's you're going back about 8 or 10 years to have that many debutants in one season.
Yeah, that is correct. Yep.
It's remarkable.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, Brad. You don't get too hung up on it. It's who's out there, not who you haven't got. And if they get beaten badly in the midfield, and let's look at it, GWS don't really play from the midfield. They're not a front half team. But if there's ball coming into that back line at some stage, the damn wall will burst, and they'll get away and win by big space.
Just looking at your ins, Marty, Perkins, Guelphy, Shield and Gresham, it's not as if they're immune to AFL footy. So, hopefully they can help rather than anything else. And, of course, the Giants have got a fair bit of their firepower out with Jesse Hogan on up the front there. Well, Rusty and Josh Kelly also having a little bit of an issue, and we're missing tonight. You know what he's like. He's worth 25 and 1, and Jesse's probably worth 4 or 5. So it's up to the others now to carry the camp.
How do we play it, Bradley?
Well,
Thursday night. Come on, Brad. Come on. You can do it again.
I know. I've gone a little bit conservative, but I still think we're going to get value. So, no, I'm going to go this way. Jakey Stringer and Toby Green, both to kick 2 goals each, Rusty. Write that down. Darcy Jones, the kid with the lid, him to get 15-plus disposals. Your boy, it should be free reign tonight, Marty. You think Zach Merritt will get it 25-plus because it won't matter if he gets 125. They're not going to win. So hopefully he gets a free reign. So him 25-plus. And Jake Riccardi's our man tonight, boys.
For a point?
He can kick a crooked behind. So Stringer and Toby, 2 goals each.
Yes.
Darcy Jones, 15-plus.
Yep.
Zachy Merritt, 25-plus. And Jake Riccardi, the crooked behind, $8.
Oh, beautifully done. Now, are you calling the game tonight, Brad?
No, I'm not. I'm right tonight, so I'll be on the couch just getting the motorboat ready for the weekend. And, got 3 games across the weekend. So active duties on the couch tonight with probably a bottle of red and, who knows, hopefully an $8 multi.
Sounds like that's a very good plan to me, Bradley. Thanks for coming on the program. We'll follow it very closely.
All the best, boys.
Good on you, Brad.
There's Brad Hardie, of course, for Loans 123 and Retrovision. Right, we are up to race number 7. This is the big one, the HG Bolton Sprint at Bunbury on Saturday. And as we have a look at the betting for Tab Touch, sponsored, of course, or produced by our great mate McGinnity. 1 Man Crush is $8, 2 Fanta is $12, 3 Baby Paris is $12, 4 Gemma's Sun 23, 5 is Vast Art 16, 6 Mood Swings 34, 7 Pooley 23, 8 Rockin' Rupert 7 to 650 to Roper. Well, I think this is one-way traffic, 360 to 280, and Wind and the Lion $4, 380.
To Roper, they started yesterday. 500 at the 360, 400 at the 360. Price kept sort of caving in. Another 600 there at the 290, a couple of 500s at 275, etc. It's starting to sort of edge back out again now. There's plenty of 250s there around that 280 mark. Man Crush 500 at the $8. Rockin' Rupert 500 each way at the 650. And Baby Paris a couple hundred each way at the $12.
Tricky map. Tricky map, martsmaps.com.
It's a tricky map, isn't it?
It is. Who's going to lead it, mate?
Let me have a look at the AI first.
The deep fakes.
Yeah, the deep fake.
Yeah.
You know who I reckon could lead this? Baby Paris from 6. Pooley from
Blinkers
5.
off.
Blinkers off. AI hasn't
Paris.
picked that up. Well, Pooley then from 5.
Fanta, some chance?
Fanta barrier 2, just getting a little... Yeah, it's one of those. 2, 3 or 7. I'm not going to have anything else leading. I'll drop dead if they do. What do you think?
Oh, Man Crush thereabouts too.
Yeah, it'll
I
be
thought Fanta maybe.
I thought Fanta. I couldn't imagine them going forward again with Wind and the Lion.
Oh, just handy, holding a spot.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine it leading. But there you go. If Fanta leads, good luck to them in the race.
It's a dropping back, Wind of the Line.
Yeah. It's going back from the mile to the 1200. And 3-year-old there off 21 days. Led clearly the other day. Gee, it was still in front, with 150 metres to go in that Belmont Guineas. It really was just the very last bit where it caved in. But William Pike goes on to Win the Lion, gets 3 kilos off, racing the older horses. I just can't go past. It's one-way traffic because the record of this horse is just building and building to Roper.
Isn't it?
It certainly looks hard to beat, doesn't it? 11 times in the first 2 out of 13. It's either won them or runner-up. 11 of 13. Terrific the last 2 starts. Love and War, who were sort of talking early doors about an A-grader. We are certainly thinking summer an A-grade. Repossession's doing nothing wrong, just beating up on the winner horses and second to it. So the form's very, very strong. Drawn 8. Brad Parnham gets back on board, and then when you're sort of looking at the map itself, I can't find one that I'd be going for. If I was heading down to Bunbury to have a bet, I can't find one I'd be backing to beat it. Every time I go back to the race, I just keep coming up with it.
Bradley, I think you're keen to lay this.
Yeah, well, it's a sticky setup, which, you've just got to get through it. It's not the biggest issue. It's Rock and Rupert's got close to Winterbottom type form. It turned into an A-grader. Loves it wet. If it's an okay track, I think the money might come for Wind on the Line because I think it needs a firmish deck. So I think Fanta could lead and give a really good sight. I think 1200 is much better for this horse than 1000 and back round a corner. There's a bit here.
Where do you see Rock and Rupert mapping?
Yeah, it could be in a similar spot to Taropa.
Yeah.
It's hard. It might end up being on Taropa's back. It's hard to see where Taropa sort of gets in the run. There's a fair few unknowns here, which is racing, as we know. But, yeah, I don't know if I've just missed Taropa all the way through, but I've just sort of never been as big on the horse as everyone else seems to have. And that being said, it's put together a fantastic record and it keeps performing.
It's one of them where I'd be happy to leave it into the hands of Brad Parnham, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You wouldn't overthink it too much, Russ?
No, not the way he's riding. I think it'll get cover somewhere there and, he's riding brilliantly.
I think Baby Paris will be cheeky.
Blinkers off. First time blinkers off.
Yeah. Well, old Uncle Collie's up the summit.
Yep. And as I said, Rock and Rupert, the draw worries me. I can just see this horse possibly even getting caught 3 wide.
Jeez, he put together a campaign last campaign without winning, didn't he, Rock and Rupert?
Absolutely. And 385 days now is a worry.
Yep.
Between wins. Man Crush should get a nice run here. Had no blinkers in the trial. It was an okay trial. But a tough version of the HG Bolton Sprint. Very hard to go past the favourite. You can find the winner outside the favourite. If something can knock it off, you'll do well, and good luck to you all. But, yeah, another good race. HG Bolton Sprint produces good winners and produces summer horses, and I think this is one, Taropa.
Classic edition of the race, Mark. Don't you agree?
Not one of the best renewals you'll ever see, the HG Bolton. There's been some better ones than this, let me tell you. But
okay then.
Good luck to everyone who's got a horse in there that's good enough to run around in a HG Bolton, and good luck to the winner. Your name will go in the record books. Reese O'Brien, we've got to get through a few of these. G'day, guys. Just a quick note for Glennie from Fremantle after his Woburn Gold message last week. I hope you did your bride and cast and spent plenty on the quaddie and was cursing as she bolted in. No whip required. And with 6 wins and 2 seconds from 14 starts, I reckon you wouldn't mind a share in her champion. Reese from the Hills.
Stick on the boot.
Well, Glennie's already put his hand up. He's already put his hand up.
Why not?
Happened in Headland, the same jock, Richard, yeah, but there was a totally different circumstance up there. There was a bit going on, but Holly certainly had very little to play in that one. They should pay winning riding fee to Holly. Well, I don't think they will. That is from Gordon. Now...
A quick one on the text, Marty.
Yep.
Enjoying the show, boys. That losing the gear thing happened to Go the Grey in Kalgoorlie, and in from Dapper Dave.
Okay.
Sheehan, he said he remembers it extremely well. The horse had a big impost that day, lost the weight bag and lost the race.
Yeah. Wonder whereabouts it doesn't matter where it lost it in the race, does it?
Matter.
You've got to weigh in with the correct weight. Maul is listening in. He's waiting for his tips to be read out. Now, what do we got here? Rick from Rossmoyne. I'm staggered. Missed out on the Quinella in the last race. I've found a new way to lose. As we said, there'll be a few of these.
You knew it.
I won't have a quaddies. I don't want to jinx anyone's bet. That's punning. Rick with a silent P. Dutch Buster, yeah, we've already read that one out. He's happy to have the trombone back on. Amazing cheat, the late, great Laurie Connell. My dopey... Greg, I can't do that, mate, but I get what you mean. All right, this last race of the day. Join the club, become a member handicap over the 1,400 metres. A big day on it, 61. 2 Border Force, $6. 3 Climb on Top, 7 to 550. 4 Al Patron is 20. 5 Costa's Crown, 34. 6 Little Silver, 12. 7 Lombardina is 650. 8 Chino La Diva, 23. 9 Don't Wait for Luck. When's it going to find its best form? 14 into 10. 10 Housewife, 850. 11 Uncle Gerard is 8 to 480. Now there is a nice move in the last. Antique Star, 12 into 9. Just Adora Bell is $81.
ESP keen Uncle Gerard the place. I get that. Housewife, a little bit of money starting to come together there. Uncle Gerard, more of a market smurging thing. There is some win-only bets, Uncle Gerard. I need to speak to those people personally. Don't Wait for Luck, getting some each-way support. Climb on Top, getting some good each-way support. Yeah, nice betting race to finish. Really good. Even Big Day on it up the top at a huge price, getting some support. So it's a really nice betting race.
Does Dong and Kick Big Day on it up? Fresh first up from Barrier 1. Wolfie, Little Silver from 10. She's probably committed to come across, isn't she, Russell?
Yes.
What else we got?
It's a tough one again, the speed map. Border Force will kick up.
Handy.
Well drawn.
Yep. Lombardina will come across. Little Silver will come across. Yeah, it's a tricky map again for this race. And El Patron, of course, will more than likely come across from out there. It's got probably not much other choice.
Yep, concur.
Okay, now Don't Wait for Luck, you did say on the run-through then, Mark.
Yeah.
When will it probably win another one? Probably when it hits Kalgoorlie maybe during the round time, because it's all 3 wins were in Cal.
Yep.
And
it won like it was going to be a horse capable of winning in the city, I thought.
I think it had the pads put on somewhere along that 3 wins, and they're still remaining now, so they're on the front.
Sweet. They've gone visors again as well, just to probably get its interest up.
Query on Housewife is the query on the soft track, and knowing that it gets back, that's a little bit of a concern for me. And I do see that it is on the drift. So others are thinking the same way. Uncle Gerard, it loomed up like it was going to win the other day.
Did it ever?
I think it saw the camera.
How many times has it done that?
I know, hasn't it? Saw the camera and it thought, no. No, I don't want to do that.
But we're not being disrespectful.
No.
It would be a great horse to own.
Man, oh
Give
man,
you a
wouldn't it
thrill at
ever?
the races every time and plenty of prize money in the bank.
What about your horse, Climb on Top?
Only if you ask nicely, Mark.
That's why he's got the problem he's got at the moment. Border Force, very, very good. I'm actually going Climb on Top.
Really?
Both runs back have been full of merit. Better draw here helps. William Pike sticks with the horse. Very hard to beat third run back. I can just see it travelling right behind them. I think it's going to get a beautiful transit through the run. I'm clearly in its corner, and again at each way value at $5.50. It could have been good at the $6.50. It might even get back out there. You never know with the markets. Border Force, I think, is also right up there as one of the main chances. Lombardino, I'm a bit concerned about the draw and the fact that Chris Parnham's taken the ride or chosen to go with Border Force. You don't lose much with his brother Brad getting on board. Little Silver, draw hurts, and could get caught wide in my own view. El Patron's another a brilliant race to finish the day down there at Bunbury. It is a good race, and if you're going wide, remember in the last at Bunbury, always have the field. If you're going wide in a quaddie, go wide as you can
At Bunbury?
Yep.
I do that in Kalgoorlie.
I do it in Bunbury, and the amount of times that it pays off is incredible.
Particularly after the last.
But you did it anyway.
Come on. Let's get some winners.
I'm definitely going to have a little bit on a Little Silver in the last at the big price.
$12.
Yeah, I think, it might even get to the front, but even Breeze return nicely. I'm pretty keen Border Force.
Yeah, I'm all over this.
Really keen Border Force, $6.50 around the traps. I had a pretty clear favourite in my own market. It'll settle handy enough. Should be right there, and for mine, it's the one.
There's been a few texters just thanking me for the performance last week that no one's mentioned. We don't worry about that, Russ. But for the people who do remember,
you shot the lights out, I remember.
But we'll be with Border Force here in the last. That's our one and only.
One and only.
Lovely.
There you are. Martsmaps.com.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Wow.
Let's get our better bets for the day. Start with you, Trombone. Let's go with Big Russ from trombonetravel.com.
Okay, our girl can run in the first. I like it. I really was taken by that trial. I think you're getting good value there at $4.60. That's a good price to start the day with. And with the winner, I couldn't go the second race. I think it's very, very tough. Rocky Wonder is probably my best of the day, and I'm basing that on the map. I think it gets a soft lead, and I think it'll win.
Yep.
Rocky Wonder, and I think, again, still around the $4 mark, is pretty good value for one that's going to be in front and probably bowling along, doing it as it likes. In race 5, I do like each way again, Art Session, another leader in my opinion. If it's not leading, he'll be setting leaders back. Chris Parnham, I think, is in for a good day. Senior rider back on, Blinker's first time, and should be in front and bowling along. I think Hanchy each way's some sort of hope. I'm staying out of the HG Bolton sprint, even though I do think the favourite will go very close. I'm hoping for the Satchel Swingers. It doesn't, but I think it's going to be very hard to beat. And in the last, I'm going to go each way. Climb on Top, which is what I'll probably do if it gets the chocolates in the last race there at Bunbury.
And I hope I'm not standing around him when it happens. Race 1, Vino Miss, $4.50 plus. Yeah. Race 3, Outspoken Lad each way at the $13. Great bet to tag that leader and give us a nice sight. Race 5, Terror Tiff, $3.40-ish around the traps. Like, it's a bit of a thrill-seekers bet, but I like the trial. Matty Girl, race 6 at around that $5 mark, and in the last Border Force, it's probably the one I'm keenest on at $6.50.
Okay, beautifully done. We've got to keep moving here. A couple more texts and we have to get cracking because Saskia Zapier needs to cut this program up and put it on the internet. The 2025 premiers are playing tonight and it's not Essendon. That is from Slammer, so he's obviously on GWS to win the flag. Tash is on fire at the moment and making me rich. Top Chocky, I'm on her again. That is Jim of Pommy Pie. Good on you, Jim. I'm sure you'll be coming to the Mundaring if we get this lunch up and running. I am not happy about the disparity in penalties handed out to players for umpire contact. The fines should also be handed out to umpires that don't know how to get out of the way and or avoid. Think the onus should be on the umpires to not be in the way and if somebody trips you or is consistently in your way when backing away, aka row, pay a free kick against a player and watch them change their position quick, smart. That's a really good text because you hear a lot of talk about that the umpires have got to be safe in their workplace. So do the players.
Yep.
And the guy from Carlton the other day and Caddy, when he got cleaned up running into an umpire, they need to have a safe working environment as well. It's not just the umpires. So that's a very good text. Hey, Bradley, you've been sensational today.
Thanks, blokes.
We hope you enjoyed another stimulating episode of Straight Up. All betting markets supplied by TABtouch. All care, no responsibility went into the production of today's podcast.